Hola, soy Bianca
And I'm Manny.
y somos los Bull City Foodies. Say hi to the camera.
Silky feet.
Okay, so as the video said, we're gonna make a Salvadoreña quesadilla, una quesadilla salvadoreña, pan de queso, bread, cheese, and just like the name sounds, it is bread with cheese. And we hope you enjoy the recipe. And we also want to just quickly shout out Salvi Soul, who inspired this recipe today. You can find her on Instagram, and we'll put that IG handle down below. So we're gonna start with melting a little bit of butter, and here we have about 2 ounces. And while this is melting, you want to go ahead and preheat your oven to about 350 degrees. And here we have the remaining ingredients. We'll put the recipe and the description below, but as you can see, we're utilizing about a cup of rice flour. This recipe is based out of rice flour, but if you only have all-purpose, that's okay too, or you can do a combination. We have baking powder, about half a teaspoon, 4 teaspoons of salt, or just a pinch, 2 eggs, and we were told by our mom that 2 eggs was not quite enough. You might need to add 1 more if you have smaller eggs, but if you have larger ones, 2 is fine. And here you can see we are cracking, and we gotta get the shell out. We don't want eggshells in our pan. But yeah, we are cracking these, and we are going to start beating these pretty soon with a hand mixer. But if not, if you don't have a hand mixer, you can get in a pretty good arm workout and mix them well. Here you can see that we've begun to hand mix these eggs and the remaining ingredients. You can see kind of on the side here, we'll be using about a half a cup of granulated sugar, and a cup of grated hard cheese. And we got ours at a local Salvadoran market. That's also a restaurant, but you can use any hard cheese, and a half a cup of cream or soft cheese. A lot of people use ricotta, but here we are using sour cream. And we'll also be using a half a cup of milk, and you already saw the butter, and of course you want sesame seeds to top off your beauty. And here we are adding just a little bit of vanilla extract, probably like a teaspoon, to the eggs. So you're mixing all of your wet ingredients here, the eggs, the milk, and you're gonna add the cheese at this stage. A little bit of vanilla. So we're using here Parmesan and the hard Salvadoran cheese. And here we're mixing in the sour cream. Gotta make a little bit of a mess where it didn't happen. Side effects of cooking. Here we are going to just mix it all up until it all comes together to make the glorious batter that will feel glorious in your tummy in just moments to come. Alright, so here we are adding the cooled butter that was melted at the beginning of the video. We're just going to mix that up just a little bit more. Perfect. So now we're going to do the same but for the dry ingredients. Here we're mixing the flour and propping up our recipe. Mixing the flour, pinch of salt there, or about a 1/4 teaspoon, and the sugar, And we already had these pre-measured, so we just dumped them in there, minus the sugar, the baking powder and salt, which we are adding now. Baking powder is about a half a teaspoon. So combining all of those dry ingredients here, we're just gonna whisk that all together. As Joshua Wiesman likes to say, shout out to another fellow YouTuber, we're giving it some whiskey business. We love that. Now we're gonna add the wet ingredients to the dry, and as we're adding that, we are mixing and incorporating all of that together. So we're just gonna keep mixing. Mix, 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 mix. And there is our batter. And as you can see, it is a little dry. I think Manny made the right call here. He added some milk. And as you see fit, you can also add milk or add flour. If it's too wet, add more flour. And here, in our case, it was a little bit too dry, so we added a little bit more milk. And we'll continue mixing. So here we are done mixing, and this is our final batter. And now is the fun part. Now we are going to put it in a pan to go ahead and get that puppy barking, aka get it in the oven. So here we are putting non-stick spray onto the pan. You want to make sure you use a shallow pan. Here we are using a cake pan, but if you have a sheet pan, I think that's okay too, or kind of whatever else you can use. Yeah, I guess the idea is just to get it thin. And here we are just spreading it all on the bottom of our cake pan. And here we go. So now we're just going to pop this in a 350-degree preheated oven for about 40 minutes or so, or until it's golden brown like this beauty. Quesadilla, quesadilla. So here, after applying all the sesame seeds, we are cutting up our brown goddess. And behold, behold the beautiful quesadilla slice.